Hey folks, your OS Reviews. You're watching our video first look at the Wellograph, which is a $300 fitness tracker that also integrates a classic watch design. At this price point, it's definitely expensive, especially since budget-oriented fitness trackers like the Misfit Flash sell for under 30 bucks these days. However, the Wellograph is also trying to be a fashionable timepiece that does more than a traditional fitness tracker would. With that being said, it's also not a smart watch in the sense it can run other applications, nor will it give you any notifications for incoming calls or texts. However, it does use Bluetooth to link to any iOS or Android smartphone. Otherwise, it comes in multiple colors inclusive of silver Saturn, there's a black chrome, white pearl, and pink gold. You can find it directly through the company's website or also on Amazon.com. Just taking a quick look at some of the features on here, it is a heart rate monitor, so there is going to be a sensor on there, a pedometer, it also tracks your sleep, and it's automatic. The watch will do all the work for you. There's no need to access a specific function or menu just to go into a certain mode. There's also the ability for you to share your stats with friends and family members, which is pretty cool, and the application is very intuitive and easy to use. Other tech specs include a 1.26-inch display. It's an LCD which has an integrated backlight for looking at it at night, and is a transflective display which is highly readable even under direct sunlight. Otherwise, there's also a genuine leather strap, and there's a neon strap that you can purchase separately, and it comes with a magnetic dock for charging, which takes only around 2 hours to complete, and the battery will last for roughly 7 days in terms of estimation. And it has a 9-axis accelerometer for all the motion detection from the walking and the running, has also an LED sensor on board, and basically that's all the main specs. The actual weight of the actual watch is 3.5 ounces, so it's not too heavy, but it's also not the lightest timepiece in the world. Taking a look at the box here, a pretty clean presentation, which we again expect from a watch that's going to sell for $300, but we have the fitness tracker, heart rate monitor, running watch. You can see that the menu is quite attractive looking. It comes in this black and white monochrome design that is very hyper stylized. In the back, some basic info can be found about the unit, how to set things up. It should be pretty easy to pair and to get going. On the very top here, it just says welcome to Wellograph, and it looks like the time has been already tuned and adjusted, which is quite impressive. And you can see here that the display is quite readable. In terms of size, the first thing that comes to my mind is it's very comparable to the Pebble smartwatch, even the styling on the screen. However, something that's different is obviously the Pebble is not going to be a fitness tracker. It doesn't have that heart rate monitor, it doesn't have that fancy pedometer, accelerometer, but it does have support for other apps to run. We have the watch directly on top. Take a look at that in a moment. Here is the magnetic charger. Simply pop it on there. It should start working. It's a proprietary dock, so make sure you don't lose this. And there is a micro USB cable end on the other side. And in here, we have just the micro USB cable, I believe. There we go. Pretty standard stuff, as well as a quick start guide that tells you how to set things up and to get going. So pretty intuitive and easy to use. Setting everything off to the side, it looks like there's a partial charge on here, roughly 50% or so, and we can interact with it for a bit before plugging it into the wall. Of course, we'll come back with a full in-depth video review after we start testing it out. On the right-hand edge, we have access to the 2 buttons that takes you through the UI that corresponds to changing the look of the watch. This is a digital one that shows the steps on the bottom. And of course, this is a graphical one, and all the way back to the analog one that you can play around with. Obviously, we don't have a circular display like the Moto 360, but I still think the design is quite charming and also pretty good looking. With that being said, the borders aren't completely even, so it's something to note. For example, the top here is actually a bit wider than the bottom, so the screen isn't exactly centered, but overall, a pretty clean presentation across the board. On the bottom, there's also indications for the battery status, the heart rate information, the time and date stamp is also there. I can tap on the bottom key there to change between different settings like sitting. It actually records how long you've been sitting in the pulse reader, a sleep sensor. There's going to be one for running and jogging, and also going through settings and turning Bluetooth on or off. Taking a look at the very back of the watch, you can see that is where the heart rate sensor will stay in place, and the metal pins here are the magnetic charging ports that goes with the dock, and overall, again, it feels very substantial in the hand. As far as the size goes, it's actually not the thickest watch I've seen when it comes to fitness trackers as well as smartwatches in general. It's not the most lightweight option either, but after using it for a while, I do think this one should be comfortable. And doing a quick size comparison, I have the Nixon Low Down. This is a Tide watch for surfers. It also is a bit of a smartwatch, not exactly a smartwatch, but it does more than just being a traditional timepiece, so to speak. And you can see how the size is definitely a little bit smaller, but when it comes to thickness, they are pretty similar. So in retrospect, the Wellograph, which combines a lot more features on board when it comes to the processor and the features, is actually pretty reasonable when it comes to size. The leather band seems to be pretty high quality and very soft, and leather in general will last you for a long time. With that being said, you can't get this wet, so leather is definitely a no-no if you plan on going swimming with it or going to take a shower. Definitely don't take this with you, since it's not going to be waterproof in that sense. But otherwise, it seems to be pretty good. Something else about leather, though, is that it creases pretty easily. So it's been sitting in this position for quite a while in the box, and after you take it out, you can notice that there's going to be some creases. Not too big of a deal, but just something to quickly note. We're going to be taking the Wellograph through its paces and test out some of the various features and get back to you and our thoughts regarding whether or not this is one of the better fitness trackers we've tested, whether or not it's worth its price tag, and where it fits in the current market. So to learn more information about this unit, be sure to keep tuned for our full video review, as well as articles that are coming up on our website. Thanks for watching this video first look here at OS.